This recipe is as versatile as it is delicious. If you don't like asparagus, you can swap it out for sugar snap peas or broccoli. If you don't have Gruyere cheese on hand, you can swap that out for fontina or for cheddar. Whatever you have in your pantry or in your refrigerator, you will not be disappointed. I'm using thawed shredded potatoes from the freezer section of the grocery store to make the hash brown crust. They taste great, and I don't have to worry about scraping my knuckles on the grater. An easy way to get the extra moisture out is by putting the potatoes in a clean dish towel. So it's important to squeeze as much moisture out of your potatoes as possible because that's what helps your hash brown crust to get crispy. Once you've squeezed as much of the liquid out as possible, add shredded cheese, some grated red onion, salt and pepper. It really is important to remember to season as you go. Get everything evenly mixed, and we'll move on to getting our pan ready. I'm using a 9-inch springform pan and brushing some olive oil all over the bottom and the sides of the pan. You could also use softened butter or cooking spray, whatever you have on hand. Press the potato cheese mixture into the bottom of the pan and up along the sides. I'm using the back of a measuring cup. Try to make sure you don't have any holes in the crust where the filling can leak out. Into the freezer now for at least 30 minutes. While the crust is getting nice and cold, preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. After a half hour, put your crust into the oven and par bake for 15 minutes. While our crust is in the oven, let's go ahead and get the rest of our quiche together. Melt some butter into the pan and add 3 thinly sliced shallots. Cook them for a couple of minutes before adding the asparagus. I prepared the asparagus by removing the woody stems and then slicing them into about 1-inch pieces. Give that all a good stir and continue cooking over medium-low heat for about 5 minutes. And don't forget a little salt and pepper. Now, let's move on to the custard part of our quiche. Whisk 6 eggs in a large mixing bowl. Add the cream, a little more salt and pepper, and the grated cheese. Then add your asparagus and shallots to the egg mixture. Now let's get our eggy, cheesy vegetable mixture into our par-baked hash brown crust and get it back into the oven. You need to lower the heat to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 25 minutes. The quiche will not be fully baked yet. Okay, it's been 25 minutes. And oh no, look, some of my custard mixture has leaked out. But trust me, this little bit of leakage isn't going to spoil the deliciousness of this quiche. Release the sides of the springform pan and get it back into the oven for 15 minutes to bake through and crisp up the sides of the hash brown crust. Here it is, out of the oven. It smells great. I'm just loosening the crust from the sides of the pan by going around the edges with a knife and then removing the outer ring of the pan. Very carefully now, we transfer the quiche to a serving tray. Let the quiche rest for a few minutes to firm up a bit before we slice it. You know what? You get the crispy freshness from the asparagus, you get the creaminess from the cheese and the cream, and then you get that little bit of texture from the hash brown. This recipe is an absolute winner. If you've enjoyed what you saw, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.